I'd even be tempted to go a bit more if you're gonna go and change it.
Too late now.
Because you don't want to be like left half-hearted between them.
Yeah, it's too late now.
I'll go 1912. I'll give it a go. I'll go a bit higher. What about if I go, to be fair, I'll do 1912 now, but I could do like, what, 2112 in the race?
Yeah.
So here we are then, back for more league racing and the season finale and my last league race on F122. This is Austria for the finale of WOR. And currently, we're in qualifying. As you saw a moment ago, we was discussing setup as we have a fully dry quali and a fully wet race.
Focus.
Oh no, you bastard.
You just... Oh.
So the downside of changing setup at the last minute is that I'm basically sacrificing qualifying to basically put a lot more wing on the car for the race and have a better race car. So our qualifying pace may not be that great. We're going to find out as well what others are doing based off their lap times in terms of setup.
Okay, just 2 laps of fuel remaining now.
If they went, you know, higher wings or stuck with a dry setup, we'll find out. And also, you know, what others do will also dictate how our race goes. Either way, yeah, we're going to try and do the best we can this session. I'm in a Discord call with other people, so I have another driver who's Leroy Brown with me in this one, and we both have an engineer, which is going to be Jake Venom, and also Connor. They're going to be chatting away in the background at various times. And to be fair, I'm not sure how much I'm going to commentate throughout this one. There's going to be a lot of talking, a lot of strategy talk, and you guys get a bit more of an insight into the thought process during some of these races. Oh, that's a lot of understeer. That's a lot of understeer. Let's get right out of that. Now, in the meantime, we've been doing our qualifying laps, and this is my third official lap. And you can see we've gone purple in sector 2. Had a moment though through. That's a really poor final corner as well. Through one of the corners, and yeah, we didn't really do that well. Was yeah, I think it was turn 6 or 7. It was the second left-hander as soon as sector 3 starts, where we just got a lot of understeer. So. Yeah, we're going to try again and look to improve on attempt number 4. We've got clear track for the most part, as cars are only now leaving the garage. I've got enough time in case I need another lap. But yeah, we're going to try to improve here on the soft tyres and look to hopefully improve from P16, which is quite a low position. So, turn 1 was okay, not spectacular. Turn 3 was pretty decent. We found a bit of time through there. Out the way. Hopefully our teammate moves out the way, which he does. And we now plunge down to turn 4, brake at the shadow, down to 4th gear. Normally you want to try and use the outside curb, but you have to be very precise with your car skills and just driving, and I wasn't that great around here. Through turn 5 and 6, now heading into sector 3. Currently up by a small amount. We do find a load of time through there though, as last time of course we got the understeer and we lost a load of time, so we've basically made up that difference. And now into the final 2 corners here, giving absolutely everything and committing to closing out the lap as we nail the final corner. I'll do, that's good enough for me. I'll try and squeeze one more lap out. Can't go too slow on this lap, but I can afford to try and go again if I want to. So yeah, one more attempt. I've got about 5 seconds to get over the line here and get everything recharged, and we've got enough fuel and tyres. So we're going to be okay here to get one more lap in, albeit in a bit of traffic here as everyone's trying to squeeze a lap in at the last moment. Through turn 1, we nail it, absolutely perfect, and we find another 300, so we now have dropped down to 10th place as the checkered flag has fallen. Up towards turn 3, brake on the curb down to 3rd gear, try to hold a bit of corner speed, and we also get a fairly decent exit. A little bit hesitant on the traction, but we do find a little bit more time. Down to turn 4, this is where I feel like I've got a bit of time to find, and most of it is on the outside curb, but I just don't have the confidence to drive out there. You can see we're pretty much still matching what we were doing up until turn 3. Now through the double lefts, trying to stay tight, but also get the power down early enough. We have to get out of it as I got some understeer and I lose a bit of time. Through the left-hander again, we have a moment, and that is going to cost us dearly, and that is going to be the end. Fucked it up. Oh well, still not bad.
You're actually kind of peaking there on that second lap, Tom.
There's a second lap. I've done a second lap before and it felt fine. In these situations, a second lap isn't the worst thing, I don't think. I reckon I could have maybe got a 3.999 if I had like a perfect lap, but
I think you could have done better than that. Like if you were like nearly a 10th up there.
Now, I was being told, you know, you can't really do 2-time laps, the tyre wears too high, but I personally found quite a bit of joy with the second time lap, and the car was working well. It's a close grid. It's a really, really close one. If you exclude Yannick on pole, from second place down, it's really competitive, and I feel like, yeah, even with that small advantage we had on that final lap, it still wouldn't have changed our final position, as there was about half a tenth to the car ahead. But I do feel like I could have maybe got under the 104s on a really perfect lap, but, you know, that's kind of the way it goes. Pace-wise, obviously this is way off what I usually do because we're running a lot more wings, so we're kind of focused on the race here. But, yeah, nonetheless, a fun session, a competitive session, and the car feels pretty decent. Hopefully, it feels even better in the race. But, yeah, that's it, guys. The final qualifying of the season. We're now going to move into the main event, which is full of rain and strategy. Oh, it's wet, wet. Wet, wet, wet.
Is it the whole way?
It's wet, wet,
Yeah.
wet, wet, wet.
So what, are you guys on like 40-32 wing or something?
It's soggy out here. Now I'm on 19-12.
Oh my god, you should have gone so much higher. Shit.
Well, I'm 20.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go.
If you were line like 40-30 wing, you'd win the race.
I'm gonna go 21-12.
I'd definitely go like 6 on the rear.
Okay, I'll go 3 and 6 then.
Okay.
I'm in the middle. Fuel minimum.
I genuinely don't know, but a wet race, you've got to be like saving a lot of fuel.
I'm going minimum.
surely.
I'm going for it. I've got minimum.
I'd go
Okay.
mid, man.
What, -2? What have I just heard?
Top man's gone mid.
In for a penny.
Yeah.
In
Good
for a
luck.
pound.
Oh, give me traction.
Love being boxed in. Oh wow, there's no grip. Don't know what kind of grip I expected in the wet race, but it definitely wasn't that.
Oh my god.
Oh, very nice 3 wide hit. Oh dear. Now the race is underway, and we're not gonna, be chatting too much on this one. I'll just make a few points and caveats here and there, but for the most part, you're gonna hear a lot of chat from us in this one. And yeah, I don't usually hop in, calls during races for that reason, because I like to commentate things. But at the same time, I don't mind also, Got removed, no big deal.
putting some information out there to kind of balance things out.
Oh, someone in the wall.
Oh, rip, rip. Safety car, shortly.
Yeah.
Okay, there's been an incident on track resulting in loose debris. Fortunately, the marshals have
Bro,
managed to
Sergio's
stop
having
the
a
time, and
rough
there are
time.
so far no plans for a safety car.
I guess the big one is, will at any point, I wonder if the Inter might be an option in this race. Even though it says full wet, you can run the Inter
Keep
sometimes, it's
asking.
better.
Keep asking the engineer. Whatever he's called on this game.
Heavy rain will be staying with us for a while now. At least a
It says
20
Inters and
minute
Wets have
window
similar
of heavy
pace.
rain.
I just got told 20
Wets
minutes
will probably have very
of
similar pace at the moment.
heavy rain. So then, safety car phase finished.
I saw you weaving, but I guess the safety car's coming in.
And here we go then, getting ready to get back underway. It's been a chaotic start to the race, and we're going to keep things rolling. P13, not the best start, but it is what it is. We'll try to hopefully make things work with the setup now. Oh, we're in -3 now on the fuel.
Green flag, we're racing again, let's go.
Now the big thing, as you saw, we also made some adjustments on setup. Also, crucially, fuel-wise, I started with minimum fuel, which is really, really aggressive, but I'm banking on the wet weather and also maybe a safety car or two.
Low on fuel, let's conserve what we have left. Start using the car's drag to slow you down ahead of the braking points by just lifting off the throttle briefly before you start to
stuck on the curb.
actively brake. That'll help.
Thank you very much. So I'm banking on using, the safety cars, the rain, whatever happens in this race, pit stops, to help save that fuel. As Harlem made a mistake into turn 3, so that gives us a position straight away. So behind Leroy now, and then our teammate, and looking to put some pressure on us. You can see Schluter there battling with Lukomski up ahead, heading into these left-handers, and this could provide an opportunity to overtake. Everyone's just drifting everywhere, skating everywhere.
Yeah, that does not look very fun to drive.
That's right, just got to get the tyre temp up.
Does Felipe Sosa stream?
Yeah. It's, your
see
teammate
what
just
it's
lost
like.
his wing.
Come on, Leroy, get the burners on.
me find a Felipe Sosa stream to see what he's
Oh,
doing on
God.
Inders.
That just fucked me right up. I'm going to get murdered now. Oh.
Wait, he just put wets on again. I thought he was on Inders.
Well, I thought you would have put for inches. Oh, that's wing gone for Mark.
Whoa.
Yep.
Right, drop your speed. Our delta's too low, and we're going to risk a
Harlan tried to
penalty.
jump me there
Slow your
with
pace
the
immediately.
delta. No,
Why have we got another safety car?
Mark rammed into the back of Harlem.
Yeah, it's
Guessing
for
debris.
debris. Plus, your tire was a bit higher than I was expecting, considering we've had a lot of safety
I
car
thought that as well. I'm not sure if no stops are going to make it. If you want to run the math on it, it's not really accurate math because we had so many safety car laps. And there we go, another safety car and more chaos in this race, but we're now P11. That safety car being caused by my teammate Mark Schluter running into the back of course, that car, getting wing damage, and he's actually pit for another set of wets, and he's now at the back of the queue. So, yeah, back to it. Green flag as we're racing again.
Okay, clear.
And yeah, we're going to get cracking and see if we can hopefully make some more progress and try to fight to the points. Car feels okay for the most part, but I don't have the, I'd say, the difference or the improvement that I hoped for with the setup that I kind of banked on when I made those changes originally in qualifying. So yeah, on to lap 9 now, and we see Leroy. Curbs don't seem to be very nice in the wet around here.
What's your ride height?
5-3.
Like 3.
It's probably wide.
Blame Jake.
Caution, caution.
Oh, rip.
What did they tell you these
Team
guys
on.
for the wet?
Teammate's gone.
Oh, they were fighting. The 2 leaders were
Oh,
fighting.
scary rejoin. My god.
Green flag.
Cool. I had to catch a breath there for a second.
Oh, Yannick spun him.
Ooh, nice.
Yannick will get a pen for that.
I mean, Daniel's already won the championship, so
Yeah, Yannick's getting a pen for that.
Bro, fuck that. That's about us, mate. Trying to get a podium out of here.
yeah.
We saw Leroy make a moment ago, and he got stuck on the curb, ran a bit wide at turn 4. 1 lap or 2 laps later, and the exact same thing is going to happen to me here. Oh, sorry. We just, and I mean just, avoid taking him out, but we ran super wide, and that now gave the invitation to Kuba Trzeziak to look for a pass here, and we're going to have to get the elbows out as we go side by side through the midfield here. As we're leaving space, that inside curb is very, very deadly as we have a bit of a moment on oversteer, on exit. That inside line is not where you want to be there.
How is your where?
Almost
30
rear.
on the 30s in the rear.
I'm 31 left rear, 30 right rear.
Oh,
This ain't going to make it.
yeah, that's fine. I mean, we're on pretty high pressure, so I'd say most people must be in the same boat, so we can work some with strategy.
So at this point, we'll take a bit of a breather from the in-game combos, and the race was starting to arrive at that crucial pit stop phase as Rushan Jakobs looking for the pass here. We're going to keep him behind as he caught me off guard there with that dive, but we at this point I'd say we were struggling for pace quite badly. I felt like I had some decent rhythm early on with the full tank, but since then I don't feel like I've got that edge anymore, and I don't feel as comfortable, and I'm not really feeling that, again, the setup change is making much of a difference. I think everyone is running more or less a similar setup in this one, and we're all pretty evenly matched. Anyway, we're at that point now where we're approaching the pit phase, and cars, lap by lap, are going to start to pit, and things are going to start to open up, as, yeah, people are kind of making a decision now based off tyre wear. Now, we've discussed, you know, before that we're not going to make it to the end. See if I get lucky. And, you know, the issue is tyre wear is higher than expected. Even with super high pressures, the tyres ain't going to make it. However, as the laps went on, I chose to stay out a few more laps. And a few more laps became quite a few more laps. And my pace wasn't dropping. I set a couple of personal bests back to back. And eventually I found myself in second place. And I thought to myself, should we, you know, it's the last race, should we just go for broke?
I think Mark is going to try to go to the end, by the way, Tom.
He's already made a pit stop there.
Yeah, he's only on 15 lap old wets.
Yeah, he could just make it, to be fair. Putting on that safety car may have not done a bad shout. Literally crazy how Mark crashed, lost his wing, and that somehow, indirectly, has actually worked out beautifully for a perfect one stop to the end of the race. Now I'm on my own, I'm gonna go quicker. I'm gonna go all the way, just go to the end and see what happens with the tyres, if they hold up or not. Do a coaster again.
Yeah, I've seen people finish on like 97%, so...
Although, I don't have that much of a cushion over Yannick, he's probably going to catch me in 13 laps.
Yeah, but it's whether you would be ahead of where you'd be if you pit. Yeah, so this lap, Tom, I don't know what your pace is compared to Cameron. Yannick has not gained on Cameron.
I pretty much lost a 10th.
Okay.
I feel okay right now. I think the fact that fuel's burning off, it's leveling things out.
If the tires don't blow up, your pace is very solid.
I'm
Is it going to drive again?
I'm starting to lay off curves a bit. Because if I'm just locking, I'm just adding tire wear on.
Yeah.
Is it going to drive at the end?
No. I might. I mean, I tried it in Kota. Maybe I get a bit of luck this time. God smile on me tonight.
We're going to need more than luck, man.
I'm catching Cameron.
It's definitely better than pitting, though. I mean, if you pit, you're going to be at the back of the train.
I think Struth onto something here. He could win this race.
Yeah, he's going to win the race.
Him triggering an accidental safety car for bad driving is going to win him the whole thing. Now then, lap 31. We're going for this. Still no puncture. We're holding in there as no Carmen crashes. Oh my god.
Let's go. I mean, we're going to have to, well, obviously stay within the delta for now, but we're going to have to like stretch that as much as you can when you pit.
Now, I made one mistake here, which is the pit entry safety car line right there, which you just saw, is a reference where you have to be above delta.
Yeah, push. Absolutely floor it.
And I kind of had a brain fart and I broke during the pit entry when I could have pushed.
Why did you brake?
Well, on speed. I thought you meant, you know, the pit entry line, but he meant before that, which is what I was saying before. I made a mistake by braking. I might get in between the action here.
Mark stayed out.
Yeah, I mean, he's going to make it. But he might get in trouble now.
Like, Mark got wing damage early, so he's got like 5 lap fresher tires.
Now, I'm not saying it would have made a difference, but had we not broken the pit entry and been a bit more aware, I could have maybe jumped a car or two. But anyway, P11, essentially, we went long, took a gamble, and we're back where we were, which was P11 with fry pit. So, haven't really lost much. It's all good, it's all fine. We're just going to push again. We've got about a 30% tyre wear difference compared to most cars around us. So, we have the offset and we have the upper hand. The question is 2 laps of racing without DRS going to give us enough action? We might be relying on other cars making moves. My straight line speed isn't great, so we're going to have to also get the elbows out and get aggressive here, but let's see what happens. Up towards turn 3 then, we've got 2 laps to go. Up ahead, Roshan going for the move on Leroy. Meanwhile, we get a really nice hairpin. Exit was actually pretty decent as well, but we just lose out on the second phase, and you'll see here my straight line speed, even with the battery on, I just can't challenge Simon. I tried to have that look up the inside, but he kind of knew what was coming and basically drove his car towards the inside quite cleverly there and cut me off. So we have to just wait a bit longer and be patient as we make our way through the midway of the lap into sector 3 now, trying to see if we can just spot any, you know, glaring weaknesses on the tyre offset, on tyre wear. Simon, oh no, oh my god, I had to really get off it there. I was waiting for him to just swing back to the right and completely murder me there. Somehow he didn't. I don't know how. Well held by Simon there. Fair play, because when you have a snap, you go one way, then kind of snap across.
Heavy rain will be staying with us for a while now. At least a 20-minute window of heavy rain.
And you usually snap across the other way, and he managed to hold on to it. So we just squeezed through and move ourselves into the top 10. But now he's re-challenging up to turn 3.
Tony's going to send it there.
We're going to hold the inside line though, as there's more battles up ahead, and crucially, Mark Schluter on probably 60-70% worn wet when he cut lap 7 is holding on to the lead.
Right, we've got enough fuel for 3 more laps.
And that is pretty damn insane. He's not in puncture territory, so he can push, and it's hard to pass. I mean, you may have seen already, it's not as effective as when you in the dry and you have like a 40% tyre wear difference, or softs versus hards and mediums. In the wet, it's a bit more of a level playing field, and it's a bit more down to, you know, skill, and also you can kind of negate the tyre wear effect if you have decent traction. So it wasn't as easy to really make a difference. Not a lot of difference, to be fair, with fresh tyres. And meanwhile, up ahead, Roshan battling in the closing stages here quite heavily, and Leroy lurking like a shark. And you'll see here they both come together with JST on the run to the line.
Thank you very much.
Oh, almost followed you through. We almost almost got them both. We missed out on Rishan by 0.033, which was extremely close. So a P7 was right there on the cards in the closing stages, but couldn't quite deliver it, which was a shame. But anyway, guys, that is it for the finale. Hopefully you enjoyed it. It was a bit of a different race in terms of the comms, you know, and just kind of having a bit of a different approach. Also a frustrating race because it was hard to pass without DRS. Only 10 corners, so it's tough to really make a difference around here, and everyone's on, but what it felt to me, pretty similar setups. So the straight on speed wasn't that great or that bad. The cornering was also pretty, you know, fair between most of us. So yeah, Mark ended up winning the race, which is pretty insane considering what happened earlier on. So fair play. Everyone gets a bit of luck sometimes, and that includes myself in certain races. But yeah, we closed things out with the P9, and to be fair, a pretty decent end to the season. Like, if we look at the standings, it's been a tough year, man. I don't really share the standings often, but for this race, I will. So you can see the final 2 rounds were sprints. They've been shuffled over to the right, but they were earlier on in the season. And yeah, for the most part, if you look at my points, I scored no points in the first 6 races. Had a really miserable start to the season. I've had a really tough time in this game, you know, with the league racing period. And then we had a couple of decent results, to be fair, you know, go away. Especially 4 points finishes in the last 5 races. That was really good, especially, of course, China and Silverstone. They were pretty good races for us. And we go on a high in this game, knowing that I've got a bit of, you know, a positive thing to kind of take away from this final league season into the new F123 game, and realize that, you know, I can mix it up. I've just got to try and be better or improve my driving or my setups, which, you know, is not easy, but we gave it the best we could. And yeah, in the end, I think we've done a pretty decent job, I'd say, of finding some form when I've had such a bad time on this game. But yeah, hopefully F123 is better for me. I may still appear in the Creator Series 1 or 2 more times, depending on if the schedule allows me to, but in principle, this is my last race. So yeah, guys, hopefully you enjoyed the league racing action on this game. F123 is only, you know, I want to say 2 months away. I don't even know what the release date is, but there's been rumours. I don't know. Either way, it's May 1st pretty much, so it can't be too much longer, and league racing should be back very soon. So yeah, guys, cheers for watching, cheers for the support, cheers for the love on the streams as well on my Twitch. Link down below, guys, to the link tree. Go check out the Twitch channel and go follow me on there. But yeah, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Thank you very much for the love and support. As always, a big shout out to the members. Check out the 2 videos on screen, and I'll see all of you very soon. Until then, take care, and that's goodbye from me.